So list is nothing but collection of different items. Those items may be of any type. Those items may be of any type. We can use square brackets in order to represent a list. So where you can have collection of items, those items may be of different type. So all these items are comma separated items enclosed in square brackets. So that is called as a list. Guys, remember, list can have the values of any type. Some values may be integers, some values may be floating point numbers, some values may be strings. In fact, some values may be other lists also. I am going to take a list 1. I already mentioned that how you can represent a list. List can be represented by using square brackets. Within the square brackets, list can have multiple number of items. Those items must be separated with commas. Okay. Student data I am considering as a list. The first item I am going to consider is the name of the student. I am considering the Ramu as the name of the student. Second item is age. Then I am considering 22 as his age. And the third item I am going to consider in that list is, and the college is studying, then I am writing the college. Now the list is having 3 items in it. So if you want to check the number of items present in this list, I am going to use the len function. N of list 1. So how many items it is having? The length of this list 1 is 3. Then we got 3 here. Then if you want to check the type of that list 1, then you can use the type function as well. Then type of list 1, it should be class list. See, this is of class list. The type is list here. See here, the first item is a string. Okay, the second item is integer, and the third item is another string. Okay, then how we can access the individual elements? So as in the case of strings, here also you can use indexing to access the individual elements of the list. Okay, then the first item, that is the Ramu, which is a string, will have the index 0, and the second item, that is 22, will have the index 1, and the third item, that is Samsid, will have the index 2. The positive indices I am considering. So always the positive index starts with 0, that the first element will have index 0. Then I am going to access those. Then int of the first element is the Ramu in that list. Then I got this Ramu with index 0. Then I am going to use the 1 as index. Then I can access the second element. So that is 22 I can access with index 1. See, I got the 22. In the same way, I can access the third element with index 2. We got it. Sums it. Okay. So like strings, here also you can use negative indexing. So in the case of negative indexing, the last element in that list will have index negative 1. Then I can access the last element with index negative 1. Then I got Samsid. Samsid is the last element in that list, that is the third element. So that last element you can access by using the negative index minus 1. Okay, negative 1. Then how I can access 22, that is the last but one element with the negative indexing, by using the negative index minus 2, right? If I use the negative index minus 2, then I can access the last but one element, that is the 22. In that way we can access the individual elements. Okay, guys, careful observe here. If you take the first item in that list, that is itself a string. Okay, string itself can be indexable, right? That string is having 4 characters in it. The first character of the string can be accessed by using index 0. The second character again can be accessed by using index 1, like that. So that Ramu itself is a string, can be indexable. Then how I can access the individual characters of that string? See, if I use list of 0, I will get Ramu. In that Ramu, that is a string, I want to access the first element. So what is that first element? Capital R. If I use list 1 of 0 comma 0, then list 1 of 0 gives us the first item in that list, that is the string Ramu. In that Ramu, I am going to access the first element, that is R. If I execute this, then I will get R. See, I have extracted the first element of the Ramu. That Ramu itself is the first element in the list. Then if I consider this, Here I am using list of 0, then Ramu again I am accessing. Now I want to get the last element in that Ramu, then I am using a negative index -1, then I got you. Clear? So in the same way, Samsid is also a string. The third element in that list is also a string. So that can be indexable, right? Then I am using, how I can access the third element? By using either -1 or by using the positive index 2. Then if I use this, then automatically capital S I will get. See, I got the capital S. Okay. If I use -1 here, -1 here, what I will get? So that Samsid is having another index, so that is -1. Then the last character in the Samsid will be accessed. Then you will get H. See, H you got. Then, so one more thing, guys. Lists are mutable objects in Python. So if you take a string, so in place you cannot modify the string. Suppose if you want to change a particular character of the string, you cannot do that because strings are immutable objects in Python. But lists are mutable objects. Remember guys, lists are mutable objects. That means in place you can modify the list. See, I am going to modify one of the elements of this list. Okay. Then what I am doing, I am going to take list of 0. Then I am going to change the name from Ramu to Raju. See here, I am going to change the first item of that list. List 1 I have to take, actually list 1 of 0 is equal to Raju. That means I am going to modify that list in place. Okay. If you do like that in the case of strings, which will not be acceptable because the strings are immutable, but the lists are mutable. Then after modifying the first item, if I display list 1, then I will get that list 1 with the modification. Previously I have Ramu as the first element, but now I got Raju as the first element. That is modified. So in place we can modify lists. So that's why lists are called as mutable object. Mutability means modifications are allowed. If any object is mutable object, then you can say in place modifications are allowed. Okay. So after having said this, I am going to consider another point. A list can have other list as its item. So that like a string is element of a list, another list can also be an element of a list. I am going to take another list here. List 2 I am considering, where my first element is a floating point number 2.5. Second element is 100, assume like that, and the third element is 200. Next element is a list. I am considering a list. In that list, the first element is a character A, second element is another character B. You can use double quotations or single quotations for the characters as well as strings, both are same. And another character we have C here, and then we have another value 0. Okay, so those are the elements we have in this list 2. What is the size of that list? If I display the length of that list, what I will get? What I will get? See, the first item is 2.5, second item is 100, third item is 200, fourth item is another list, and fifth item is 0. Then if you display the length of that list 2, then you will get 5. Okay. So what happened? Here I have used another list as an item within the list. That is also possible. Any number of lists you can use as part of another list. So that is also allowed. Then if I use print of list 2 of 3, then I will get that list. So now I got that list, internal list. Suppose if I use -2, negative indexing. So 0 will have -1, the last element. Last but element is a list. So that will have -2 as index. Again I will get the same list. Okay. Then if I use 1 here, then what I will get? I will get a character B. See, I got character B. See, at the list 2 of 3, I have a list with 3 elements in it, A, B, C. So in that list, I am going to access item at index 1. Then I got B. So in that way, we can allow another list to be part of a particular list. So that is also allowed. Then in the same case as strings, you can also use slicing here. Then to give an idea for the slicing, I am considering another list. I am considering a list with some elements. So these are the elements that list is having. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. These are the elements I have. Then if I use let me take list 3. Already we have used list 2 in the previous cell. Then I am using list 3 here. So list 3 of if I use 0 to 4, what I will get? The start index is 0. Then I am using 4 as ending index. Then automatically I will get the index as 0, 1, 2, 3 only. So 4 is excluding in the range. So it will not be included in those indices. Okay, you will get the index now from 0 to 3 only. 4 is exclusive. Then automatically what are the values I will get? 0 means at 0 index we have 10, at index 1 we have 20, at index 2 you have 30, at index 3 we have 40. Then you will get 10, 20, 30, 40 as another list. See, we got it. 1 to 4. 1 means the start index is 1. Then at index 1 we have element 20. Then up to the indices will be considered 3. Then 3 means at 3 you have 40 as element. Then you will get 20, 30, 40 as elements. Right? Then if I don't specify any starting index, then automatically 0 will be considered as the starting index. Then up to 3 it will consider as indexes. Then I will get the same 10, 20, 30, 40. Then I am going to consider another one, colon, colon, then 2 I am considering. I did not specify start index, I did not specify end index. That means entire list it will take. But I have specified the step size 2. Then alternate elements I will get. See, first element 10 I got, and then 30, and then 50. Alternate elements I got. In that way, we can use this slicing with lists as well. Then the concatenation of the lists. So I can concatenate multiple lists by using an operator plus. Okay, the concatenation operator here it is plus. Then I am taking 2 lists. Then I want to get a new list. I am taking the variable name list 6. Where I want to get list 4 elements first, after that list 5 elements. Then I am going to use a concatenation operator plus between these 2 lists. Then if I display that list 6, then I will get a list of total 6 elements. Both lists are concatenated. Then replication. Okay, replication can be done by using asterisk. Here for the concatenation the operator is plus, right? Here for the replication the operator is asterisk. Okay, then what is the replication? You can replicate the existing list for the specified number of times. I am taking L1 as a list. Okay, for that the input list I am having is 1, 2. Then I am going to replicate that 1, 2 times. Okay, then if I display L1, I will get 1, 2, 1, 2. That means the same list 1, 2 will be replicated by 2 times. If I display L1, then I got 1, 2, 1, 2. Understood or not? 2 times it got replicated. Now, see, I want to get a list with 100 zeros. I want to get 100 zeros in that list as elements. Then I need to give zeros 100 times. 100 zeros I have to give with comma separation. It is troublesome, right? So to get this very simply, then I am going to use asterisk as an operator. Then I am going to replicate this 100 times. I am going to replicate this. I am taking a list with only one element 0, and then I am replicating that list with only one element 0 100 times. Then L2 will have now 100 elements. All the 100 elements are zeros now. See, display L2, then see, so this will be total 100 elements of zeros. Total the size of the L2 is 100, and then all these elements here are zeros.